Welcome back to another episode of 7,000 Volts, living that electrified life, and that electrified life we are living. We talk about the grind, we talk about the culture, but nobody really talks about legacy and the effects that stress has on our life.
Empowering you to live a life fully charged. This is 7,000 Volts, living an electrified life with L.J. Tucker.
So I brought back a popular guest to help us out with this subject, Dr. Ufondu. Welcome back to the show.
Yeah, thank you so much, Lee. It's a great privilege to be back again on this amazing event today. Thank you so much.
Yes, and we're going to dive right into it because what we want to continue to do is give substance to the audience. We want to give substance to that person that's looking for that next step.
Okay.
We want to lay this foundation block by block so it's sustainable down the road, because I don't want to tickle anybody's ears. I don't want to give people false hope, be like, hey, jump up 3 times and send me a couple dollars and everything's going to be all right. No, I want to give value. When I speak, whether I'm in the studio on this podcast or I'm in a grocery store or working with my team, I want to give value. I want to give more in use value than I take from anybody in cash value. And at this present time on this podcast, we're not taking any cash value from anybody. We're just giving value.
Correct.
So the value that I want to give is sustainable. It's going to help you get to all levels in life. And stress is one of those things, if we don't put it into check, it takes away everything.
Correct.
Like it takes away in your field, it takes away, and I'm not going to step on your toes. I'm going to allow you to explain what stress does to fertility, because that's important. Because if I can't perform at a high peak as a father, as a business owner, and most importantly, the son of God, because I am my father, I want, and if I let and allow stress to break that bond.
Correct.
Who am I?
Correct. Okay. So thank you once again. You know, handshake has a lot of positive impactation. Like it gives you a lot of positive vibes. So when people shake hands, it's actually anti-stress.
Yes.
Do you know that?
Yeah, I didn't. I know now.
Just like hugging.
Yes.
So here's the deal. Life is stress, and stress is life. Now, without stress, we can't function as human beings. So there are positive stress, then there are negative stress. Then broadly broken down, we have acute stress and chronic stress. So when we talk about acute stress, so imagine yourself seeing a lion. You open this door now, you see a lion. What will you do?
I'm gonna outrun everybody in this room.
Definitely. So you're gonna activate. So there's this, fear, fright, flight, flee reaction. So the first instinct is to take up, right? That's acute stress right there.
Yes.
So if you didn't have the body mechanism to activate your flight because of that immediate danger in front of you, just like the title of your podcast, the voltage, the 7,000 voltage, that's what keeps us alive.
Yes.
So without stress, we're going to go down 6 feet. Now the problem manifests when we allow stress on little grind, just like the grinding nature and the grinding culture. Everybody wants you to be successful. Everybody wants you to be the best. So the price of going every day, getting exposed to that stress will build up. So over time, it becomes chronic. So in medical practice, anything that has been around for more than 6 months becomes chronic. Yes. So chronic means it's altering the system. It's taking from various aspects of the body which ordinarily should help you to perform better. Like, for example, there's a reason why you have your heart. There's a reason why you have your liver. There's a reason why you have your kidneys. When you see that lion out there, what will happen to your heart? Your heart will start beating very fast.
Yes.
Your blood pressure will go up. Your blood sugar will go up. Your kidneys, everything. You might start peeing on yourself when you feed just a few seconds ago. It's your body adjusting to that immediate stress. Yes. So when you expose yourself to chronic stress, what the body is going to do is to conserve the energy for survival. So you're going to be in a survival mode. And when you're in that survival mode, what's going to happen to your fertility? Everybody is supposed to be fertile. Everybody is supposed to multiply, just like what we believe in. We're Christians. We believe in going to the world and multiply.
Yes.
Especially when you are married, you have a woman, you're supposed to, continue your legacy, have your kids, your boys, your girls, so they will continue from where you stop. Now, when you expose yourself to those chronic stress, not the acute one, we all get stressed out every day. It's expected because without the life, cycle of being stressful, you're not going to wake up. So the reason why you're waking up is to go and do what you're supposed to do on a daily basis. But when you expose yourself to all those things, which are the condiments that you want to use to be successful, over time, they're going to overwhelm your system. So what's going to happen is, now instead of your heart to just react to that lion, your heart saw, briefly, your heart will start reacting as if it's seeing lion constantly. So over time, the heart will start overpumping, the kidneys will start overworking, the liver, they will be so overwhelmed, and it goes back to your reproductive system.
Yes.
Now, normally, how do you sustain your legacy? How do you get your woman pregnant? So that there are basic things in your body which controls the reproductive system. There are basic chemicals called hormones. So the chief of them for men is testosterone. It's testosterone that will make you to, produce your sperm, have that zeal, that sexual urge to actually initiate in the act. But when you expose yourself to those chronic stress, it will affect those hormones, those reproductive hormones. So what your body will be looking at is survival. And at that stage, reproductive system is the last thing in the body's, memory. The memory in yourself is to survive, not to have a baby. And when this happens over time, your body will begin to switch, you begin to struggle. And remember the price of success for some men and women. They overwork, they take a lot of shifts, they don't sleep well, they take coffee, they do a lot of things to stay around to become successful. That's the price of becoming successful. So most times the price you pay in becoming successful, when you now want to start your family, you discover that the price you paid is a lot.
So I have a question, because you use the analogy of a lion.
Correct.
So I want to take it to this level, because here in America, you're not going to see many lions unless if you're at the zoo, but the lions that we do see,
Correct.
they come in the form of bills,
Correct.
managing your life,
Correct.
not making right decisions, hanging around people that don't vibrate well with us,
Correct.
which cause us certain stress. So if you don't manage your bills for existence, if you don't manage your bills, when you go check the mailbox, sometimes you may stop checking the mailbox because those unpaid bills are in there.
Sure.
Because you outspend what you earned.
Correct.
You're not managing the money that you do have. And so instead of dealing with it, you're in a fight or flight because you're like, uh-oh, those bills, and now the bill collectors are calling. So these are a part of is it acute stress that you're talking about? Or
correct. Acute. It can be acute, it can be chronic. So let me give you another analogy regarding the stuff I explained. Fear, fright, flight, flee reaction. So when you have a bill you're anticipating, you're going to get up at the day to go to work to get money to pay for that bill, to take care of your family, right? That's the acute phase.
Yes.
And God on our side, you will keep solving all those, financial need, bill problems, right? Now, when you go beyond your limits, when you're not properly planned, when you don't have a sustainable thing you're doing, when you're all over the place, when you're complacent, when you don't think about the real deal, when you don't focus on the real things, when you hang around the wrong set of people. For example, if 10 of your friends are negative friends that influence you in the negative way, they go about drinking, they smoke, they spend money as if they're printing money, and when those bills, those responsibility comes, it's going to go beyond 1 week, 1 month. Once it gets to 6 months, that's when it begins to break your back, because at the end of the day, you want to go to sleep. You will sleep because you have a lot of bills to pay, and you don't have plans to settle those bills. And before you know it, you will begin to affect your heart differently, exposing you to high blood pressure, begin to affect your kidneys, affecting your kidney function, your liver function. Then guess what? When you now want to start your family, when you now want to, kind of perform your civic responsibility, which is starting your family. How do you start your family? You get your woman pregnant. You will discover that those stressors that build up, it's changed the whole hormonal pathway in your body. So in medical field, there's an axis we call the HPO axis. So there's a special place in the brain called the hypothalamus. Then we have the pituitary axis. Then we have the adrenal axis. These are the three levels that control reproduction. So for you to be able to produce sperm, for the women to be able to have the eggs and ovulate, so that the union of the egg and the sperm can lead to embryo, which can form in human beings, those hormones must function appropriately. Now, when you expose yourself to those chronic stress, you're going to have erectile dysfunction. You're going to have sleep problems. You're going to probably become diabetic. You're going to probably become hypertensive. Then guess what happens? All these will eventually forget the fact that you're supposed to start your family. Because what your body will be struggling with is to survive. Anytime the body goes into survival mode. So what happens when you're under stress? You're going to increase the production of the stress hormone. The stress hormone is cortisol. So cortisol is what makes you to react immediately. Like if you put your hand in very hot water, you remove it immediately. It's the stress of that hot water that is telling you, hey, why are you doing this? But when over time it begins to go high, there are other hormones that should make you to be calm, to be happy, like endorphins. When the level of your cortisol level is higher than endorphins and other important hormones, you become overwhelmed. Then over time it begins to be chronic. Now, it's going to affect the totality of you because your mental health is going to be messed up. You probably develop stress disorder. You probably develop depression, anxiety, and all that. Then at the end of the day, you're not going to be able to use the hormones you need to get your woman pregnant. Then over time, you start having infertility.
And then there's one more, and I don't know if this is medical related, but I call it you get delusional. You lose track of your purpose and what you're going to do. And there's a story I heard of. It said if a rat gets trapped in the corner, a mouse, rat, whatever you want to call him, and that's a dangerous place for him to be because he's going to claw his way out of there.
Correct.
There's been stories where he'll eat through metal or wood to get out of there. So once you become trapped, you're making decisions because no one, you got radical people and you got people that's unradical, but you become radical when your back is on that wall.
Correct.
And when that back is on the wall, you're going to do stuff that you wouldn't normally do in a normal circumstance, like committing crimes.
Correct.
Not fulfilling your purpose, hurting someone else, stealing from other people because you put yourself in this position where your back is on the wall.
Correct.
And we already know when your back is on the wall, you're going to be fight or flight.
Correct. When your back is against the truth is that the body is structured in such a way that we can deal with stress.
Yes.
And stress is life and life is stress, just like I told you. If you don't expose yourself to stress, you're not going to survive.
Yeah, this is
But
true.
it's stress you can mitigate. The level of stress, like when you see, like if you go to traffic and someone is trying to shortchange you, you're going to be pissed a little bit, but over time you're going to forget about it. But when you get exposed to all those stuff, they will put your basic important organs into an overdrive. So just see like an overdrive. So always remember that lion I'm talking about. When you constantly see lion every day in your mind, in your daily activities, when that stress, when that bills, when they're all piling up, the last thing on your mind will be to start your family. You will inadvertently just adapt to life because life is all about adaptation.
And then you start speaking it because now
You start manifesting it because out of the abundance of what you have will come out what you want to do. So it's all about adaptability.
Yeah, because
So all those initial stuff you mentioned is actually in line with trying to go to the next level.
Yes.
And for some people at that stage, the next level is to flee.
Yes.
And guess what happens? When you flee from your responsibilities, you're going to come back to that responsibility because nobody's going to take care of that responsibility than you. So, for example, you abandon your bills for 1 month, 6 months. You come back, if you have a credit card bill, it's going to be there for you. It's going to be waiting for you. Nobody's going to take care of the bills. It's going to be you. So, but the earlier you understand that there are ways you can mitigate and go around this, so you can be full. So just like the title of our podcast, which is 7,000 volt, there's an expected functionality that God gave you as a man, as a woman. So we begin to have problems when we go outside the boundaries, when we don't set our limits, when we don't know what we should avoid, when we adopt negative lifestyle. Like for some people, when this stress comes up, they take to drinking, they take to smoking. The reason why they're drinking and smoking at that time is to mitigate temporarily. But there are things that should be done on a long-term basis, because if you go out in the night to drink and smoke to take care of your worries away, when the effects of alcohol and smoking is all gone, you're gonna still have just some problems you had before you left.
And the reality is,
And the reality will be staring at you.
yeah, because a part of that legacy, like you say, you want to mitigate.
Correct.
You know, and as we become wiser, then we can navigate our way through life to reach the level where God wants us to be at without manifesting stuff to get us stuck.
Correct.
You know, I said this in an earlier podcast. Some people are still stuck in 1999 or 1968 because they can't graduate from a basic fundamental that God has given them to life. To like, and there's so much power. That's the most powerful weapon anybody has, is that tongue.
Sure.
There's life and death. You know, there's a commandment when God says, "Do not use the Lord thy God name in vain."
Correct.
Some people don't even know God's name.
Correct.
And one of His name is I am.
Correct.
I am. And that word, I am, what you say next, you're going to get it, and it's going to get you. Whether you say I'm healthy or I am blessed beyond measure, the Bible says, let the weak say that I am strong.
Strong. Correct. Correct.
And it's not a play on words. It's because once you use that key word, I am.
Correct.
Correct.
It's a powerful phrase that you can actually use to call into reality, into existence, what you felt, just like faith. You know, the story of God's creation is all about faith. If you noticed, He commanded things He wanted to become, and they became. He spoke it into existence.
It's like that movie Shazam.
Correct.
There's a part in that movie when they gave him the code word to turn him from the superhero to have all the power and to change back, and that word was Shazam.
Correct.
That's the key word. So when you use that word, I am. Correct. You're activating.
It's a powerful word.
Your God-given power to navigate through life.
Correct.
Because it's a spoken word.
Correct.
Like
Correct.
It's the never-ending story. You get to speak your life, and you're gonna have the life. So if you're not happy with where you're at in life, it's like, what are you saying? Record yourself, play it back. Man, I just shot myself in the foot all day long, yesterday and today. How can I do that? Well, be more conscious of what you say.
Sure.
Because we're gonna have where you at in life is a direct correlation of what you say yesterday and the week before.
Sure. And the good thing is, for every experience you have in life, for every challenges you encounter, like there are some people that are currently going through infertility. So infertility is the inability to actually become pregnant or to get your woman pregnant for a period of 6 months. For the women, we normally use their age to kind of define the boundaries. So if a woman is 35 years and above, and she's been together with a partner for 6 months, and they're praying, they're making love regularly, and they're participating and they're practicing the positive things, good lifestyle, and if at the end of the 6 months the woman is not able to become pregnant, she's classified as having infertility, which can be primary infertility. If it's primary infertility, it means that in her lifetime with that partner, she has never been pregnant. Now, it can be secondary infertility if in the past she got pregnant with a partner, but presently she's not able to become pregnant. Now, below 35, if you've been with your partner for 12 months and you still didn't get pregnant, you'll be classified as having infertility. Now, the point I'm trying to make with defining this, concept is the fact that stress is one of the biggest impacts in couples that struggle to become pregnant and have their family started, because when the man is stressing, the woman is stressing. When the man is blaming the woman is blaming the man. When you don't sleep in the night, when you don't eat the right food, when you don't exercise, when you don't expose yourself to nature, when you're generally not happy, when you don't call into existence the things you want to be, the way it should be. Understanding that the Bible, from the story of creation, God created Adam and Eve separately for a purpose. So when you're coming together to start your family and you notice you're having challenges, you can flip those challenges to work for you if you know the right things to do. Because when you are presented with stumbling blocks in life, the essence of stumbling blocks is not to make you weak. It's to help you to build the building blocks. So the stones that people cast at you, the stones that stress of life will cast at you, if you flip those stones, it's going to build the building blocks for your future. And that's where the legacy will start, because when against all odds, you continue doing the right things, you continue hanging around the right people, because guess what? The people you hang around with can either make or mar you.
Mm-hmm.
They can either impact positively or negatively in all aspects of life. So stress is something that everybody gets exposed to. Guess what? Guess the only people that can be stressed in life. Can you take a guess?
When you stop breathing.
Yeah, when you stop breathing, you stop stress. So the moment, even little babies, do you know that for a baby to survive outside the mother's womb is actually stress that helps the baby to survive? It's stress that expands the lung. It's stress that when a baby is crying, what's the baby doing? The baby is internalizing all those stuff, oxygen that will expand the lungs. So the baby will survive. So without stress, you can't survive on earth. But it's the ability to know the limits. It's the ability to curtail the acute stress and deal with the acute stress so that you won't graduate to the chronic stress. And it affects everything, including legacy, including fertility. So for the couples that are having infertility, what's the first area you can work on? Your stress level.
Yeah.
How much hours sleep do you get in a day? How do you stretch yourself? Do you have time for yourself? Do you give yourself, me time? Do you go for your yearly checks? Have you really checked your hormonal level? Have you really talked to yourself to see if the problem is coming from you? Because sometimes we always want to look for who to blame when we have challenges. But the first person to look for the blame in is in the person you're seeing in the mirror. You're the first person to check if you have any challenges in life.
There's a saying that says success without margins in your life can cost you your legacy.
Sure.
Sometimes we get focused on what we want to do and we forget, hey, what is it that God wants us to do? And when we're not walking in our purpose, that alone, like I remember before me and my wife started having children, and she's like, I'm down for whatever. Like, give me 20 kids, that's what I'm thinking in my mind. I'll take 20. She's like, I just want a boy and a girl. But because we're open-minded, God has a sense of humor as well. He's like, that's not, in God's mind, he said, yeah, I hear you. So he had to do something intentional.
True.
We had 2 girls first.
True.
And because she wanted a boy,
but
we had to keep trying.
I can understand.
Yeah. And so now we got 2 girls and a boy.
And subsequently, when you guys got the 2 girls, you guys now got 2 boys subsequently.
Yeah.
So here's the deal. Remember that the Holy Book asked us to ask anything that is good. So asking for a particular gender in your family is a good thing. Every good thing you ask from God is going to give you even more. Remember, the same Holy Book told us that your couple ran it over, right? And remember, the same Holy Book showed Abraham. Remember, Abraham and the wife had problems of legacy. They couldn't believe that God is gonna, give the wife a baby at that age. In our current contemporary world, when a woman enters menopause, when she has finished using the eggs that God gave her, naturally, she might no longer be able to have a baby. But based on the knowledge that God gave us, we can still help those couples to have a baby by using donor eggs. So there are so many ways to go around whatever challenges you're having. But the starting point is that I am calling into existence what you want. So long as it's a good thing, God is going to give you even more than you've asked for. And that's why faith is very important. Remember the definition of faith in the Bible? Now, faith is the evidence
of things unseen,
of things you haven't seen.
Yes.
And the feeling, the substance of things you hope for. So before you thought about having your family, you've already envisaged, I'm going to have 2 boys, I'm going to have 2 girls. If you don't translate those your thoughts into reality by calling them forth, when you call them forth, God is able to give you even more.
So you reminded me of a story when you started talking about Abraham. Like, we don't know what went on. They didn't believe, and so they didn't get that promised son they was looking for. What reminds me when we go to the New Testament, when the angel came to Zacchaeus.
Yeah.
Was it Zacchaeus? I believe he had John the Baptist. So it reminded me of that story, and he told him about you're going to bore a son for which later is going to be John the Baptist. And because he didn't believe, the angel said, because you unbelieved, you did not believe, because it was already, God knew what he wanted done. He said, but because you didn't believe, you won't be able to speak until that a baby is born.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, God has a sense of humor. Sometimes God saved the last battle for the strongest soldiers.
Yes.
Because just imagine for a second, Sarah, at the age of 80, getting that message that she's still gonna be a child at the age of 80. And it took a couple of decades later to actually see the manifestation. Meanwhile, the same guy that God gave a child, a very precious child, God also commanded him to sacrifice that child. Think about that for a moment in this our contemporary society. And guess what? He obeyed. Now, at the point of striking that knife, God intervened. So there are certain times God will push us through limits and will think it's all over. So it's the person that will say, okay, you know what? I've seen your struggles. I've seen your mind. I've seen how diligent you are. It's the same God you can also talk to about the stress, which is the major focus we have today. Because when you don't allow that stress by what you do, by how you deal with the stress, then you can rule the stress. But when you allow the stress to run you, the stress is going to ruin you. So it's just a total package when you understand your place in God, knowing fully well that nothing is beyond Him, including adding to your legacy. Because if your parents didn't think about the legacies, we won't be here. So we are our parents' legacy, and we want to continue that legacy when we have done our own part and we've gone to heaven. We want our kids to continue where we start.
Yes.
Just like the business you've built, you're going beyond you, when you're probably frail, who among your kids will continue from where you stopped to expand your vision. And like I told you before we started this podcast, everything we do about life is all ministry.
Yes.
The services you provide to people is ministry.
Yeah.
You're helping God to perform its role in our world.
Yeah. Give Him value, man. Give Him more in use value than you ever take from someone's in cash value.
Correct.
It's, everybody has an opportunity. We have a different race. There's only going to be one Michael Jordan. There's only going to be one Kobe Bryant. There's only going to be one LeBron James. There's going to be one, and everybody has to run their race. Tom Brady said it best. When he mentors and talks to kids, he's like, listen, I don't want you to be like me. I want you to be you, because if you try to be like me, then you're going to get lost.
Correct.
And never become who you're meant to be.
Correct. You can only be who you are, because nobody can be you.
Yeah.
You only have one version in life.
Yeah. And what's funny was that I don't remember the story correctly. You got Jimmy trying to be like Johnny, Johnny trying to be like Jimmy, and Jimmy trying to be like Tommy, who was trying to be like the one person. So everybody's trying to be somebody, and everybody's trying to be like each other. And it's like, you're
and
not
at the
running
end
your
of
own
the day,
race.
you discover you're not becoming who you are.
Yeah, and you miss out. It's like I'm a Ford person. I defer trucks because I'm 6'5" and I fit in them. There are other nice trucks, but what if John Henry don't follow his purpose? Then Ford might not even exist. It can be your Fonda's car industry or a Tucker's truck or something like that.
True.
And because that's what happens when you don't follow those dreams. Even when people like Walter. Remember Walter?
Yeah.
When he drew the pictures, the flowers in the pictures.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And the teacher told him, something's wrong with you. Flowers don't have faces in them.
Yeah.
And they sent him to the principal's house. Hey, we got to do a psychological mental health check on this kid because something's wrong with him.
Yeah.
And if he would have let even the adults
Correct.
was trying to define in him,
Correct.
we wouldn't have Walt Disney World.
True.
And it's like, you read about these stories.
True.
And for me, it really encourages me because I want to run this race that God intended me for to run. And then you see the visions, you have the value that you want to give, you have the love in the heart that you want to share with people, and you figure out ways to help.
True.
And this is one of those ways with this podcast is just, hey, who can I help? What's the next step? What is the next step that people can do? Well, hey, one of my goal is the same every day and almost every year. I want to be even better next year this time than I am today. If I go into next year being comfortable, then number one, I'll never grow. I won't seek God more, and the devil is happy because people think the devil wants them misery and unhappy. No, he doesn't want you miserable and unhappy. He wants you comfortable.
Correct.
Because once you're comfortable, you don't experience pain. When do people go to God?
So they have needs. So that brings me to the popular adage about comfort zone. Comfort zone is a zone of no growth. Now, when you're in that comfort zone, you tend to be complacent, you tend to be relaxed, you tend to think that everything you've achieved, you achieve it by yourself. So you don't seek for that higher power who actually started everything.
Yes.
But the zone of growth is the zone when you actually expose yourself to more things that will help you to recognize that there is God somewhere. Because at the end of the day, whatever God allows happens. Just like when we talk about legacy, there are some people that project, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Even in the Bible, there was one particular guy, God called a fool. He was projecting what he's going to do tomorrow, next tomorrow, and he didn't know that God is going to take his life that day. So it's about living in the now, recognizing the power who is above all things, the I am that started everything, referencing him in everything. Just like the stress we talk about, there are certain things we can control in life. Then there are certain things we can't control. There's a reason why God wants you to sleep in the night. When you don't sleep in the night and you stay up in the night, you've already started shortchanging God. And when you start shortchanging God, you're going to pay the price.
Yes.
God is a very loving God, but God is also a jealous God. So when God tells you stuff, before you start thinking in your own way or leaning on your understanding, obey God first. Learn how to listen and understand the voice of God, because we all have voice of God in us. But sometimes we tend to feel, oh, I did this because I was good. No, it's all grace. So it applies to all aspects of life. When you put God first in everything you do, good, bad, ugly, remember that there was a God that started everything in the first place. So when you realign yourself in that God's purpose, you become unstoppable.
Man, that's the closing statement. That's a mic drop right there. And I appreciate you coming on the show again.
Thank you so much.
It's always a blessing. I'm sure the viewers are going to be able to use and take value out of this episode. So, hey, everybody, enjoy this new year. Put God first. Be blessed. Follow us to stay electrified. God bless.
This has been 7,000 Volts, Living an Electrified Life, available on YouTube and your favorite podcast app. If you enjoyed the show, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. For more information, visit us on the web at ljtucker.com. Remember, stay electrified.